Om. Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arvindaya. Om Anandamayi. Om Chaitanyamayi. Om Satyamayi. Om Parame. O my beloved Lord, let us be thine integrally. O Lord, with full faith, love, and surrender, we are ready for thy victory. Om, peace, peace, peace. Peace to the mind, peace to the vital, peace to the physical, peace to the emotions. Om. Prayers and Meditations. February 7, 1914. For him who, by being integrally united with thee, is constantly conscious of what expresses thee most perfectly in action, considering the circumstances, no external rule is any longer necessary. The principles of life, or in some, only makeshifts for diminishing as far as possible the ignorance of those who do not know thee yet, and for counteracting somehow or other the moments of blindness and obscurity of those who have only an intermittent contact with thee. To make rules for oneself and to make them as general, that is, as supple as possible, is good, but provided one considers them only as artificial lights which should not be used except when the full natural light of communion with thee fails. Besides, a constant revision of these rules is imperative, for they can be only the expression of a present knowledge and must necessarily gain by all growth and improvement of knowledge. That is why, when meditating upon the attitude one should have towards all those who come to us, in order not only to refrain from doing them any harm, but above all, to strive to do them the utmost possible good, that is, to help them as best one can in making the supreme discovery, the discovery of thee within them. I saw clearly that no rule was vast and supple enough to be perfectly adapted to thy law, and that the only true solution was to be always in communion with thee, so that it could be adapted perfectly to all the infinite variety of circumstances. Savitri, Book 11, The Book of Everlasting Day, Canto 1, The Eternal Day, The Soul's Choice, and the Supreme Consummation. Page 692 and 93. Class, ocean, deep into thyself thy wave, happy forever in the embosoming surge. Grow one with the still passion of the depths, then shalt thou know the lover and the loved, leaving the limits dividing him and thee. Receive him into boundless Savitri, lose thyself into infinite Satyavan. O miracle, where thou beganst, there cease. But Savitri answered to the radiant God, in vain thou tempest with solitary bliss two spirits saved out of a suffering world, my soul and his indissolubly linked in the one task for which our lives were born, to raise the world to God in deathless light. To bring God down to the world on earth we came, to change the earthly life to life divine. I keep my will to save the world and man, even the charm of thy alluring voice, O blissful Godhead, cannot seize and snare. I sacrifice not earth to appear worlds, because there dwelt the Eternal's vast idea, and his dynamic will in men and things, so only could the enormous scene begin. Whence came this profitless wilderness of stars, this mighty barren wheeling of the suns? Who made the soul of futile life in time, planted a purpose and a hope in the heart, set nature to a huge and meaningless task, or plant her million aeoned efforts waste? What force condemned to birth and death and tears? These conscious creatures crawling on the globe. If earth can look up to the light of heaven and hear an answer to a lonely cry, not vain their meeting, nor events to touch a snare. If thou and I are true, the world is true, although thou hide thyself behind thy works. To be is not a senseless paradox. Since God has made earth, earth must make in her God. What hides within her breast, she must reveal. I claim thee for the world that thou hast made. If man lives bound by his humanity, if he is tied forever to his pain, let a greater being then arise from man, the superhuman with the eternal mate, and the immortal shine through earthly forms. The Mother, Question and Answers 1955, Volume 7. What is the image of the dry coconut fruit? It is said that when one has realized it is in here that he says it, one becomes like the dry coconut which moves in the shell, which is free inside, no longer attached to the envelope and moving freely within. That's what I have heard. It is the image for there being no attachment anymore. You have seen this. When a coconut becomes completely dry, the nut inside is no longer fixed to the shell, and so when you move it, it moves inside. It is completely free. It is absolutely independent of the shell. So the image of the being is given. The ordinary physical consciousness in the shell, and so long as the Atman is not completely formed, it is attached, it holds on, it is stuck to the shell, and it cannot be detached. But when it is completely formed, It is absolutely free inside. It rolls freely in the shell without being fixed to it. It must be this image. 15th June 1955. Today we celebrate 127 years of Sri Aurobindo's return to India. So let us have this special day in our mind while we read the Master's a grand work, the Life Divine. Let us all salute our Master for his sacrifice, and we may never forget, even for a moment, what he has done for the humanity and for the earth and for all the beings all everywhere. Sri Aurobindo's The Life Divine. Page 15. But first, it is well that we should recognize the enormous, the indispensable utility of the very brief period of rationalistic materialism through which humanity has been passing. For that vast field of evidence and experience, which now begins to reopen its gates to us, can only be safely entered when the intellect has been severely trained to a clear austerity. Seized on by unripe minds, it lends itself to the most perilous distortions and misleading imaginations, and actually, in the past, encrusted a real nucleus of truth with such an accretion of perverting superstitions and irrationalizing dogmas that all advance in true knowledge was rendered impossible. It became necessary for a time to make a clean sweep at once of the truth and its disguise in order that the road might be clear for a new departure and a surer advance. The rationalistic tendency of materialism has done mankind this great service. A prayer for those who wish to serve the divine. Glory to thee, O Lord, who triumphest over every obstacle. Grant that nothing in us shall be an obstacle in thy work. Grant that nothing may retard thy manifestation. Grant that thy will may be done in all things and at every moment. We stand here before thee that they will, thy will may be fulfilled in us, in every element, in every activity of our being, from our supreme heights to the smallest cells of the body. Grant that we may be faithful to thee utterly and forever. We would be completely under thy influence to the exclusion of every other. Grant that we may never forget to own towards thee a deep and intense gratitude. Grant that we may never squander any of the marvelous things that are thy gifts to us at every instant. Grant that everything in us may collaborate in thy work and all be ready for thy realization. Glory to thee, O Lord, Supreme Master of all realization. Give us a faith active and ardent, absolute and unshakable in thy victory. Dear Mother, Sri Aurobindo Lord, thanks for this beautiful moment of connecting people across the globe with the like mindedness of serving the earth, the Mother Earth, and for all the human beings and for the welfare of the universe. Mother, each aspiration be fulfilled by your grace. As this prayer sprouts from the soil of Auroville, which marks the human unity and a new world with the newness, let us spread the word, let us spread the good word to all the people around the world. Thank you, Mother, for this beautiful opportunity. And thanks, Lord, for blessing us to do this special prayer on your arrival day. It's a grace and a blessing to all of us who united in the name of you. Thank you for the grace. Greetings from Auroville to all each one of you with happiness, light, joy, and peace from Auroville. Thank you.